Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys can see me and hear me okay. Let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. And I am looking forward to talking to you guys today about something that I just read in the press about Nasdaq. Nasdaq, which is one of the major exchanges where a lot of tech companies are listed on Nasdaq, things like that. Nasdaq just announced a really interesting diversity initiative that on its surface is really good, but when you take a deeper dive into it, you kind of realize that as a black man anyway, I kind of feel like it's the same old stuff. So I'm going to break this down for you today on the Black Financial Channel. So we're going to get started. Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I want to say welcome to the Black Financial Channel on theblackfinancial.com. We are Black first. We put the Black community first. We talk about our community before we talk about anybody else because nobody's talking about us and nobody's going to do it. If we don't do it, nobody else is going to get it done. So if you agree with this philosophy, if you believe in being Black first, if you believe that we must put our community at the top of our priority list, then put hashtag B1 in the chat. Use hashtag B1 when you're having conversations on social media so you can talk to other people that share a similar ideology. We must put our community first because the reason Black people and Black wealth has not moved forward in the last, 60, 70 years is because Black people have always put ourselves at the bottom of the priority list. And of course, everybody else is going to do the same thing. So stop waiting on other people to save you. There's some work that you can do yourself that will make your community better in less than a generation. So what do I want to talk about today? Well, today I want to talk a little bit about this initiative that got my attention. Nasdaq, which is one of the major exchanges, one of the major stock exchanges where a lot of big tech companies are on Nasdaq. They actually just passed a very surprising rule. The rule that they're trying to push forward if they get SEC approval is they're basically requiring companies to show some measure of diversity on their corporate boards. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't have a problem with diversity initiatives. I just know what they are. And my goal is to help break it down for you. And really, like I said, I understand finance better than the experts do because this is what I taught. I've taught financial experts. So I can kind of explain some of this to you maybe in a way that you haven't seen before. And also, before I move forward, though, I want you guys to know a little confession. I've been having trouble with my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is garbage. I'm so mad at Comcast right now. Let me know. Give me a yes in the chat if you can see me okay and you can hear me okay. I need to do a sound check and a mic check and or a video check and all that. Video, audio check. Give me a yes in the chat if you can see me and hear me okay. If you can hear me and see me okay, give me a yes. So that way I can know I can move forward and I know I'm not going to be talking to myself. All right. So I see some Arthur and Amber and Kane and Real Card. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm so messed up. And plus I broke my glasses. I told you guys that, right? I'm nearsighted. I can see things up close. I can't see things far away. But when I put my glasses on, everything up close becomes blurry. Everything far away becomes clear. So I'm just all over the place today. I am the nutty professor today. So I hope y'all can forgive my nuttiness and just roll with me real quick as I try to break things down for you. So hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on drboycetv.com or the Black Financial Channel, hit the notification bell. Even if you subscribe, hit that notification bell because that way you'll be notified when we go live on the platform. Okay, so hit that notification bell right now. Please do that right now. All right, so here's the deal. So Nasdaq is trying to pass a rule that's going to require some measure of diversity on boards of companies listed on the exchange. The rule, which needs the approval of the SEC to take effect, would require companies to have at least 2 diverse directors, woman and 1 member of an unrepresented minority group. Notice my big air quotes here, including Black people, Latinos, or members of the LGBTQ plus community. Smaller companies and foreign companies on the exchange could comply with 2 women directors. Let me read that again. And I want you to, those of you who've been watching me for a while, those of you who are students of Powernomics and Dr. Claude Anderson, things like that, Dr. Claude Anderson, who wrote some of the original diversity initiatives, the original affirmative action programs, he talks about this a lot. So give me a yes or no if you think you know where I'm going to go with this. Give me a yes or no if you think you know where I'm going to actually take this conversation. I'm going to read it again. Put your yes or no in the chat as I read this. The rule, which needs the approval of the SEC, would require companies to have at least 2 diverse directors, including 1 woman, member of an underrepresented minority group, including Black people, Latinos, or members of the LGBTQ plus community. So here's what you got. Here's what you got. You got a situation where I want to give a round of applause and a congratulations to white women, because this is another big win for white women. White women will now get more opportunities. White women have now effectively co-opted everything that they claim is designed to create equality in America. So congratulations to white women. Your husbands have been passing you trillions in wealth for the last 400 years, and now you get a piece of what we got too. Okay, good for white women. And then also, here's the other thing you have. You have in this, the way this paragraph is structured, you have two groups. You got women, and then you've got all the people who are not white men, basically. You've got underrepresented minority groups. That means that you've got Black people thrown in there. You've got Latinos thrown in there, many of whom are white. If you ever want to see real racism, go to South America, go to Latin America. If you really want to see some white people that really can't stand Black people. You think you got it bad here? Give me if anybody is aware of just how oppressed Black people are in Brazil. Brazil has tens of millions of Black people down there. I don't know if y'all know that, but there's tens of millions of Black people in Brazil. You don't hear about them. You don't see them on TV. They don't tell you anything about what they're going through, because they literally mute and censor these people. They literally do a Cinderella on these people. You know what they did with Cinderella, where the prince came by and they told Cinderella to stay in the back and she can't even come out and talk because they don't want the prince to even know that she exists. Well, they do a complete Cinderella on tens of millions of Black people down in Brazil. In Colombia, when I was in Colombia, Medellin, my brother lives in Medellin. I went to visit my brother in Medellin, Colombia, and on one side of the town, it's all white. There's nothing but white people with, like these women with the big fake booties and stuff. They love fake booties down there. I don't know what is that all about. But all these, and I'm a Black man. You can tell the difference between a real booty and a fake booty. Y'all know what I'm talking about, fellas. So ladies, just keep your natural stuff. Black women, y'all look good the way you are. Don't be getting all that fake surgery to mess yourself up. But anyway, when I'm down there in Colombia, I'm on the white side of town with nothing but white women and fake booties everywhere. That's all that I saw. And I was like, where are the Black people? Where are the Black Colombians? Oh, they live over there. They're all over there in the poor area. And every time Alicia and I would see, and when we go running, we'd run through the city. And every time we saw Black people, they always looked sad. When they were in the white side of town, they always looked sad. Maybe they were begging for money. They looked like they were going through the struggle. So you want to see racism? Go to Latin America. You'll see some really interesting racism. So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because it is an absolute myth and a falsehood to somehow correlate the experience of the descendants of slaves, meaning foundational Black Americans, with the experience of many Latin Americans who descended from slave owners, who were part of the dominant class in their society. What makes you think that me as an African-American male has anything to do with somebody who came from Mexico or Colombia or Brazil who's white, who literally checked the white box on their census form, and you somehow think we belong in the same category? And then don't even get me started on LGBT. Don't even get me started on LGBT, because I still have yet to understand how what you do in the bedroom, where you plant your penis every night, has anything to do with what I went through over the last 400 years as a Black man. I cannot understand. I cannot make that connection at all. The idea that their experience is the same as our experience is probably the icing on the cake of racial insults. That is literally a reminder that, to me, that we might as well just give up on this generation in terms of doing anything meaningful when it comes to racial progress. Seriously, if you're waiting on white Jesus, I know some of y'all thought that getting Biden in the White House and getting Trump out was going to make all the difference in the world. And I feel sorry for you. I really do, because you're going to just get more of the same. These people are not ready to really try to understand the problem. They are not ready to do the real work. When they were even mildly exposed to the ideas of people like Dr. Claude Anderson, who breaks down racial history in America unlike anybody else, when they were even mildly exposed, it was almost like spraying Lysol on a really bad fungus. The fungus screams and it stings, and it's like, right? Because that's what it is. You're talking about racial disinfectant in a country that is highly infected with the disease of systematic racism, a country that is addicted to systematic racism. So when you're in a country that's addicted to systematic racism, you got to know what you're dealing with. So when I see this Nasdaq proposal saying that we want corporate boards to have more diversity, the way I see it is that ain't got hardly nothing to do with black folks. It really doesn't. Now, then again, though, but you can't write it off completely, right? Because black women, there will be some black women who will get those opportunities. There's no question about it. If you're a corporation and you want to diversify your board, well, a black woman is a double whammy. I got a woman and I got a black person. I'm killing two birds with one stone. Now, that black man, if you come in here, he better be feminine. He better be feminine so that he's not posed as a threat. He better either be a feminine male or a beta male. He better, or one of those shuck and jive and foot shuffling Negroes who looks down when he talks and doesn't really carry any sort of strong blackness with him when he walks through the door, because that's seen as a threat. So it doesn't mean that there will be no black males in there, but actually there are studies that show this. Go look this up. That one of the few people that makes almost as much money in corporate America as the white male is actually the gay black male. That's I'm not making this up. I'm not being mean or homophobic or anything like that. I'm just giving you facts. So if you have a son, why do I bring this all up? And actually, before I move forward, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Please do that right now. Also, don't forget the Black Wealth Bootcamp starts in the Black Business School on January 7th. So if you'd like to join us, please do that. You can still get a 30% off early bird discount. So even if you missed the Black Friday discount, you can still get the 30% off early bird discount. It's a lifetime membership. It's a great program. It's very popular. So feel free to go to blackwealthbootcamp.com. It's all about reducing your economic dependence on the corporate plantation. We're trying to help heal you from your dependence on this whole ideology of I must go get a job working for my oppressor after I go pile up a bunch of student loans and put myself deep in debt. Like we're basically breaking all that down so you can understand how that works, so you can get away from that and build a more secure life for yourself. So the Black Wealth Bootcamp is all about reducing economic dependence on the corporate plantation. Doesn't mean you have to quit your job. There's no job shaming. It's okay if you work at UPS and you like that job. I want you to stay there, but I want you to reduce your economic dependence on the corporate plantation, because it is that economic dependence that makes you weak. It is that economic dependence that takes away your ability to stand up for what you believe in. It's that economic dependence that keeps that basically says that anytime a situation calls for you to stand up, somebody's right there telling you to sit right back down. And you sit back down because you don't have economic freedom. Most of your problems as black people comes down to economics. That is the alpha and the omega. Once you solve that problem, a lot of other problems start to get solved on their own. I guarantee it. So feel free to go take a look at the Black Wealth Bootcamp. There's a URL on the screen. It's very, very good. Also, don't forget, you can text the word Boyce to 31996 if you want to get a text alert. Some of you got a text alert this morning that I was live, and I promise you I won't bother you unless I have something that I want to share that's going to help you. Okay. So anyway, let's keep going. All right. So here's what I'll say on the Nasdaq thing. I'm not mad at what they're doing. I don't think it's not that I think that it's terrible or criminal or horrible or ridiculous. I'm simply saying that this is not an initiative that's going to have significantly benefit the black community. It's also not an initiative that's going to benefit your black male son. It's not going to benefit your husband, most likely. Things like this, these diversity initiatives where they have two clumps of people. They have women, right, which white, black, all women pretty much fit in this category. And then you have this smorgasbord of underrepresented minorities, which includes black people. It includes Latino people. Millions of them coming from south of the border, immigration policies that have been very harmful to black people that have suppressed the black vote over time. But you support this, right? Because you've been trained to believe that going backward is actually going forward. That's why you haven't gone forward. You've actually gone backward. You're confused. You're thinking you're going forward, but the data shows that you're going backward. And then you say, well, what's going on? I don't understand. Well, the reason that it looks like you're going backward is because you've been going backward. Do you follow what I'm saying? Or can you dig it? Do you get what I'm saying here? Now, I know that some of what I say is hard to digest. I know that people hear this and they're like, who is this crazy quack? And they can't write me off completely because I had more education by the age of 25 than most people get in their whole entire life. I was teaching college students. I was in my third year teaching college students when I was 25 years old, and I'm not 25 anymore. That was almost 25 years ago. So I've had a long time to think about these issues in a very deep way. And so sometimes what I say is going to sound absolutely radical. It's going to sound mean. It's going to sound crazy. But what I'm really trying to do is slap you out of out of the hypnosis of white supremacy. I'm trying to slap you out of this false reality that you've been led to live, which makes you a white supremacist. Some of y'all Negroes are so backward that you might as well be members of the KKK, because everything you're doing is working backward against black people. So one good measuring stick that you really kind of have to consider for yourself is when you pursue something, when you believe something, you must ask yourself, where is the evidence? Can I find evidence that black people on a significant scale have improved their condition as a result of this policy? So I get excited about the next Negro politician, out of the thousands that they've thrown at us, the next Negro politician who gets elected for office. Nothing wrong with black politicians running for office, but I need you to ask yourself, okay, we've had thousands of black people elected for public office. Has that benefited black people at all? I'm real excited about the Democrats or Republic, whatever party you're in. Black people, black Democrats have been running cities like Baltimore for decades. Is Baltimore in good shape? Is black Baltimore doing really well? Is black Baltimore thriving as a result of that? The answer is no, right? Or Chicago. I live in Chicago, and I see black politicians. We got a black mayor, Lori something, whatever her name is, right? And it's like, well, who is Lori really working for? Is Lori Lightfoot really helping black people, or is Lori Lightfoot taking care of the white people who gave her money to run for office? And so when you ask yourself these hard questions, you get answers that make you uncomfortable, but that opens you up to a new reality. So when I look at this new rule by Nasdaq, I'm totally I have no problem with it. They're basically telling companies that if you don't diversify your boards, you will not be allowed into Nasdaq, right? They're trying to get this law passed. I think that's fine, but just understand that has nothing to do, that cannot on any level be cited as something that inherently benefits the black community, because it does not. Now, what is a policy that can benefit the black community? Well, I'd like to implement a policy, and I hope that you guys will give me. I need about 3 minutes. For 3 minutes, I need to be the king of Black America. So would you guys give me your vote? I'm running for office right now. We're going to do a mini election. I need y'all to give me 3 minutes of power. Give me a yes or no in the chat. If I get your vote, I need y'all to make me king of Black America for 3 minutes, and I'm going to implement a policy right now that I believe is going to truly make a difference for black people. And it's actually to some extent in alignment with what NASDAQ is doing right now. So give me a yes or no if I get your vote. Do I get your support? If I get your support, then I can make this move. Okay, I see yeses. I saw a hell yeah. Thank you, Inez. I love you too. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. So as in my new position is, it's 9:30 till 9:40 to implement my agenda. So here is the proposal I'd like to lay on the table. You ready? All right. So in order to improve the economic condition of black people in a significant way, what I want y'all to do is I want you, and this is voluntary. You don't have to follow this rule. This is not a mandate, but this is King Boyce. I am the king for the next 2.5 minutes. King Boyce has implemented a decree that says all black people should own shares of stock in companies that are on American stock exchanges. All black people should make sure that they themselves and their children are consistently investing, no matter how small the amount is. It could be the same amount of money you spend on fast food, Air Jordans, or going out to eat. They are consistently investing in the stock market, so that the same way they owned you during slavery, you now own a piece of them. That is a backdoor mass approach that will uplift the wealth levels of the masses, instead of a few elite Negroes who happen to get lucky enough to get corporate jobs. Because what's going to happen is, with this initiative with NASDAQ, that certainly does some things at the top, right? Diversity is not a terrible thing, but it also kind of creates a scenario where you don't have all the sovereignty that you want. It creates a scenario where, yeah, sure, there's a little bit of black stuff in there, but it's not too black, right? But then there's also stuff that the Latinos are going to want, and there's more of them than there are of you. Period. There's more of them than there are of you. So you're going to be outnumbered. And then the gay people are going to step along, and they're going to say, well, we want gay stuff, and we want everybody to do what we want as an LGBT community. No disrespect to anybody that's in that group. Some of you may be part of that community now, and I love you and I respect you, but here we're black first. Here we represent our interests first. So what I want you to do is I want you to own a piece of those companies, so that when they make money, you make money. And what that's going to do is that's going to slowly rise your wealth levels. Why do I know that? Well, because as a financial scientist who has analyzed ton of data on stock market participation and wealth levels that's existed for the last 120 years, who's written dozens of research papers on this topic. I can tell you that one clear factor that is almost a complete determinant of where your wealth level is going to be is whether or not you participate in the stock market. So rather than being offended by the fact that Nasdaq has this initiative that isn't going to help Black people much, I'm not going to sit around here and be mad about it. I'm going to actually put aside the fake solution and give you something that I know is a real solution. So my term is up. We have term limits up in here. So I appreciate you giving me 3 minutes as the king of Black America. This was a monarchy. This was not a democracy during that period of time. This was almost like a dictatorship. And I appreciate you trusting me with that power because I do not take your trust for granted. Okay. So basically, congratulations to Nasdaq. They're going to have more gay people on corporate boards. They're going to have more Latinos on corporate boards. They may slide a Black man in there every now and then. They'll have a few Black women in there who, unfortunately, some of whom, not all of whom, some of whom actually, and this is just, I almost sound mean when I say this. I'm not trying to be mean, but there's something about some Black people who are so deep into assimilation that there are some women who I think feel that being next to and up under a powerful white man is a type of security or type of validation that they've been looking for their whole life. Now, this is not to disrespect them, because to me, the male equivalent of this is when you have those Black men. You ever see those brothers who really think that dating Becky is a status symbol? It's really sickening. It's very sad. It doesn't mean that this is not a statement against interracial relationships at all. I'm talking about people who have that mental illness, where you got brothers like Harry Edwards, when he worked with the San Francisco 49ers in the 80s, and he went to, he said, I want to meet with the wives of the Black players. And when he went to go meet with the wives of the Black players, he said that he went in the room. He said there was not one Black woman in the room. He said there was not one Black woman in the room. Now, it'd be one thing if there was a few white women in the room. It'd be another thing if half the room was white. That would be disturbing, but it wouldn't be as overwhelming as what he saw. What he saw was a room that was 100% white female, a lot of blonde hair, blue-eyed white women who had married these athletes because they were rich, right? And that honestly is indicative of a mental illness. That's a mental health problem. And that's very offensive and very insulting, because what it's kind of saying is that you have Black men who historically felt that somehow on their climb up the ladder of success didn't feel the need to bring the Black woman with them. And when you talk about the significance and the importance of wealth transfers and how that really shapes a community, I really think that we should spend some time processing that and trying to understand why there would be so many people who feel that when I get to a certain level, I don't need a Black woman by my side. I don't completely get that. I feel honored to have a beautiful Black woman by my side. She's very smart. She has a PhD. She has a great career. She's a full professor in social work. I mean, she's not just a decent. She's not just a decent scholar. She's an extraordinary scholar, and I love that, right? And I consider that to be an honor. And I don't understand why others don't think that way. Well, remember, if we're going to be hard on the brothers, if we're going to be honest about the mental illness that affects some of these brothers, well, you got to be honest about the mental illness affecting some of these women. Vicky Dillard's a little bit more direct about it. She calls it LOM, the League of Mammies. She calls it the League of Mammies. And the League of Mammies are the women that not only will go sit up under that man, sit up under a Joe Biden, or sit up under, whoever the CEO of the company is, maybe even sleep with him, like a Scandal. You saw in Scandal where you had what's her name, who wanted to basically be the mistress of the president or whatever, because she wanted to be next to this powerful man. This goes back to the plantation. But they won't just sit up under them. They will defend them with their lives. Like, they will fight you for that person. Like, they will literally get out here. Like, did anybody else see when Simone Sanders, Simone Sanders, I thought she was Magic Johnson's son when I saw that she'd been appointed to a position. Simone Sanders is a big, husky looking woman. And she works right next to Joe Biden and is very proud of her position. She feels like she's successful, which I don't think she is, but she thinks she is. And when this lady came up and tried to bum rush the stage, Simone Sanders, or it was a man, a woman or a man that came up, but she literally ran and tackled this dude like a linebacker. Like she really could have got signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers that day, because she literally ran and tackled this dude like when he came up to bum rush the stage. I couldn't believe it. I was kind of stunned by this. So basically what I'm saying to you is this. Look, when you're talking about let's go back to Nasdaq and Nasdaq's diversity initiative. When I see that initiative, here's what I visualize when I see a diverse boardroom. I see a boardroom. I love you, babe. See you later. When I see a diverse boardroom, I see in their vision, I see a Black woman right in there, maybe usually just one, maybe two if you're lucky, but probably just one. I see a gay guy, like hello everybody, right? I see a Latino person, maybe two, because remember their population is growing. I do not see a Black male in that room. I do not see a Black male in that room. And what does that mean? In fact, actually, I'm going to conclude by explaining what this means for you and what it means for your son. If you could, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. And also, just a reminder, we have financial workbooks and flashcards for kids if you want to teach wealth to your children. So feel free to go to financialworkbooks.com. It's important to teach investing to your kids while they're young, because that's what they're going to do when they get older. So if you want to get them out of the struggle, if you want to get them away from slavery, if you want to get them away from begging and scrapping and hating life, then teach them about wealth while they're young, so they'll know how to make money. They'll know where the money is. They'll know how the money's made. Your child should never grow up thinking that the only way to make money is to get a job. That is a terrible way to live. In fact, the people that make the most money are actually the people who don't work for it. So that's what I want your kids to have. That's the pinnacle of wealth. So I hope that you will consider that. Just feel free to take a look. All right, the URL is right there on the screen, financialworkbooks.com. So here's what this means for the Black male. Here's what this means for your son, your brother, your cousin, your uncle. Some of you brothers that are in here, there's a lot of brothers in here. We did a survey. I think 60% of our audience is Black male, 40% is women. But the women support the men support the women, right? So when I talk to one of you, I'm talking to both of you. So here's the deal. For the Black male, it means that I think that you want to consider the fact that in corporate America, there really is no place for you. If you are connected to the Black experience, that your Black identity, if you have a strong Black identity, like I do, I'm Black all the time, every day of the week, twice on Sundays. I love being black, not just Black, but bliggity Black. Like I'm super, super Black. Like Blackness is an important part of who I am. Actually, let me show you this this shirt I'm wearing. Let me see if I can pull this thing off the screen. See, this shirt says "Because We're Black," right? Like that's, me and Alicia wear shirts like that, and it's pretty awesome to have a Black woman next to you who gets that, right? That's why I couldn't marry a woman who wasn't Black, because there's so many things about my experience as a Black man that I don't want to have to explain that to you. I don't want to have to give you 400 years of racial history for you to understand why I'm pissed off that day, right? I don't need all that, right? I don't need you to say something stupid that isn't going to make any sense to me. I need you to understand, right? So she understands. She grew up poor. She grew up in the hood. She grew up in Gary, Indiana, of all places, and so she gets it, right? We get it. So anyway, for the Black male, there really is no place for you in corporate America. There's really no place for you in media. There's really no place for you in academia. That's another thing too, right? If you're a Black male who has a strong Black identity, it doesn't mean that there's not a job that you can't get. I'm not saying that you can't get the job, but the thing about it is that because of who you are, because of your core values, if Blackness is a core value, like I feel a little guilty when I persuade any of you who've been persuaded to be a little bit Blacker because you come to the platform. I feel almost guilty. I felt guilty with my little brother when I started really telling him about the importance of being Black, because I knew what that comes with. I know that comes with calling you to battle, that you're literally almost like going to war. Consciousness is a curse sometimes, because you suddenly become aware of all the inequities. You become aware of all the challenges. You become aware of the fact that the wealth gap hasn't moved forward. You read books like Powernomics. It opens up this whole Pandora's box of all these horrible racial realities that existed in America that you didn't even know about, because they didn't teach these things to you in school. So for some people, ignorance is bliss. Some people are better off in a bubble, in the white supremacy bubble, where they believe that America's wonderful, America's fair, that white people are nice and great all the time, and that it's great to go work for them, and that this is the model of success. Like sometimes that bubble is very soothing, like heroin is for a heroin addict, right? White supremacy is the ultimate drug, and some of us inject ourselves every single day. But for the Black man who wants to actually confront that reality and really truly connect himself to Blackness and truly commit himself to the struggle of Blackness, you got to understand that when you are in a battle, you really can't do what everybody else is doing. You can't enjoy the things everybody else enjoys. And so when you look at corporate America, if I'm going into corporate or if I'm going into academia, the way I'm built anyway, I can say, and I don't want to be narcissist. I use the word I a little bit too much, but the way I'm built is if I go into a space like that, I'm going to want to lead. I'm going to want to be heard. I'm going to want to be relevant to what's happening here. I want to shape the institution. I don't want to just be a part of it. I don't want the institution to create who I'm going to be. I want part of that institution to reflect what I believe in also. I wanted to help the people that I care about. I'm not just there to have a job. I'm there to say, okay, how do we do things better, right? And what happens, though, is that when you are a Black male, you start to become a problem when you start thinking that way, because they're looking at you and they're thinking, okay, Negro, we brought you in as the help. We brought you in as a spectator for the basketball game, as a cheerleader. We didn't really bring you in so you can go dunk the basketball. We're not asking you to run the offense. We don't want you to be the coach of the team. We need you to be the water boy, right? So in a lot of these institutions, a lot of these corporations, maybe these Nasdaq companies, the Black male is not the one that's invited to be a part of the board of directors typically. The Black male is the guy that might work in the mailroom. He can work at UPS. He can deliver the packages. He can come into, like when I was at Syracuse University, they're like, look, you can come in as long as you do what we do, act like we act, say what we say, and you become a white person in blackface, then you're going to fit in. We're not going to give you any problems. So racism, the reason a lot of people falsely believe racism is gone is because we've gotten past that era where white people just hate you just because you're Black. In fact, I don't even put the word hate in there. I don't know if they necessarily wake up hating you. Maybe it's a respect thing, right? The issue is that they will accept you as long as you do exactly as you are told, as long as you fit exactly what they believe the core values of that institution could be. They believe that the best way they can help you is to teach you how to be more like them. That is a type of imperialization. That's what integration did. Integration said, we'll let you guys in as long as you come into our institutions at the very bottom so that we can make more money. And then also as long as you're well behaved and you fit in to our core values, our infrastructure, our culture. Don't come in here talking about how our institution is going to go help the masses of Black people. We're not here to help the masses of Black people. We're here to help the masses of white people, because this company was created and founded by us. So if a Black man wants to be a king, he must learn how to build a castle. For a Black man to run an institution, he must learn how to build an institution. For a Black man to control a system, he must learn how to build a system. That's why I say when your children are young, they must learn how to build systems. Even gang leaders are more adept at developing systems and codes of conduct and structure and delegation than a lot of corporate Negroes. Corporate Negroes, most of the time, they got their little bachelor's degree from some university, may even be at HBCU. They don't know nothing about creating no kind of institution. They can't manifest anything. So what's happened is that you have been so emasculated by white supremacy that they've literally zapped the power of God out of you. You see, God lives in the sixth dimension. I'm not going to go into what that means. I'll explain it one day in a longer conversation. But basically in that sixth dimension, that gives you the power to manifest, to create something, to say, I have a vision, I have a dream. This is what I want to see. This is the structure of what I want to see coming to fruition. Most people don't live in the sixth dimension. They don't live in the dimension of God or where they can manifest. They live in the third dimension where they can only see what's right in front of them. Maybe they go to the fourth dimension where they can see the past and the present a little bit, right? Most people can't go to the fifth dimension where they can imagine all the possibilities that can come into existence. And the sixth dimension is where God lives. So the Black man, if you really talk about the God inside of you, I'm spiritual, but I don't go to church. I'm spiritual, but I don't go to church. The spirituality, the God in you lives in that sixth dimension where you have the ability to visualize and manifest. And when you become that corporate type, when you've been an institutionalized Negro, where they've had you in a cage since you were born, when you have been educated by your oppressor to believe in the oppression, when you have been taught to be a white supremacist since you were a child, when you believe that the sky is only as high as the ceiling, when you believe the sky is only as high as the ceiling of the room that you're put in, then at that point, they've pretty much zapped the hell out of you and made you into a fraction of what you're supposed to be. How do I know that? Well, because that was my experience. When I went to Syracuse University and I had the PhD, I was the only African-American in the country to get a PhD in finance during the year 2002. There's no African-American I've met anywhere who got a PhD in the year 2002 in the field of finance. So I was hot shit. I thought I'd reached the pinnacle. I thought I'd reached the sky, when really I was just tapping the ceiling. I went to Syracuse University. My first job, I was making six figures figures on my first job. And again, I was hot shit. I was recruited by everybody. I go in there. I'm one of the highest paid people on the campus. So they paid me well. But what was going on, what was interesting is I look back at that now and I feel sorry for that young kid, because that young kid who got his PhD, who thought he was hot shit and thought he was a successful black man, hadn't even scratched the surface of his potential. So, and I don't even know if I scratched it yet. Maybe there's more. I'm sure there's another level to this, right? But the point of the matter is that a lot of times you are cursed by low expectations that are set by the system that you're born in. The system defines who you are, how you're built, how far you can go, how great you can be. And when you reach the peak of that, right, they put you in a level 3 system when you could go to level 20, right? But you get in a level 3 system. So you start at level 0, you get to level 3, you say, look, mama, I made it. Look at me. I got the nice job. Look at me. I live in the white neighborhood. Look at me, mom. I was on TV yesterday. That's all you know. Right. And what you don't realize is that there are higher levels, and a lot of those levels can be unlocked with the understanding of wealth. You see, when you understand wealth, and then you also understand how to manifest and how to create systems and institutions and structures that are in your image, right? Where you have an ideology and you can create something that is a physical 3-dimensional reflection and manifest who you are on the inside, then at that point, you start to see all your creativity just burst out. You get up and you say, I want to create a book, or I want to create an organization, or I'm going to start a company today, right? And then when you have those skills, and this is why it's important for young black men, especially, and little girls too, to learn things like how to develop systems and protocols and delegation and structure and institutions, is because then that power of God starts to be unlocked. Wealth is one of the keys to let that happen, but you don't need a lot of wealth to do it. You see, what you have to have is you have to have independence, freedom from the restrictions that come with having somebody else control your economic outcomes, right? Because a lot of us can't do what we want to do every day. We can't manifest and live to our fullest potential because you wake up and you have this burst of creativity of this amazing thing you want to do, but you're like, damn, I got to go to work. And then the next thing you know, you're sitting there at work all day, stamping envelopes in the post office, mad as hell, because you feel that there's another side of you that's waiting to be born, but that thing can't be born because you have to abort every dream before it even comes into existence, because you're trying to confront an uncomfortable reality every single day of the week. And it ain't your fault. It ain't even your parents' fault, but your parents were the ones who passed that curse on to you because it was all their parents knew. Right. So maybe for a little while, I don't know, I'm going to get out of here. But, in the same way you guys allowed me to be King Boyce for 3 minutes, which I don't take that lightly. I appreciate you trusting me with that. I also don't mind being your friend, your mentor, your dad, whatever I can be for you in this moment. Some of y'all call me Uncle Boyce or whatever. I embrace all of that. I love all of that. I love talking to people who are able to appreciate, some of these ideas. So I appreciate you more than you know, but I'm here to tell you there's more inside of you than you can ever even imagine. And you're never gonna find it if you're always living in this really comfortable oppression. And one of the biggest curses that Black people have, in my opinion, is that we are super capable. We're extremely adept at becoming comfortable in our oppression. We are the ultimate. If there was another TV show called Survivor, it should star Black people every week, because we are the ultimate survivors. We love talking about how we survived this and survived that, and I made it through the storm. And that whole song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, go read the lyrics of that song very carefully. All it's about is surviving. The stony blood we trod, the road, the chastening rod, right? We survive, right? Like, that's what we love to brag about. And what I'm saying is, I don't want you to just brag about surviving. I want you to be able to brag about thriving, right? I don't want you just playing struggle-nomics. I really want you to consider playing power-nomics, right? I don't want you just, being glad you didn't lose or you're not losing by as much as you did before. I want you to really walk around and say, you know what? We won that motherfucker. Like, we went out here and we won this game, right? Right. I want you to win. Okay. So, but a winner's mindset is very different from a loser's mindset. A thriver thinks differently from a survivor. Okay. So in order to get to level 2, you got to get past level 1. So don't let the world keep you at level 1, because you got a whole lot of level 1 Negroes out here that literally want you to stay flat. So don't stay flat. I want you to get fat. Go succeed. Go be great. Find your potential. Explore. Don't be scared. You can do this. Okay. All right. I hope that this helps you guys. I didn't plan on talking about all of that. I swear to God, every time I get on here, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this for 10 minutes, then I'm gonna bounce. I've been talking for 39 minutes and 12 seconds, but I hope it was worth it. I hope that this helped you. If you could, please hit that thumbs up button. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell. Notify, so that you'll be notified when we go live. Text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. And here's the URL for the Black Wealth Bootcamp if you want to join us. We start January 7th. It's very good. There's a 30-day 100% money back guarantee if you're unhappy for any reason. And right now, you can still get 3% off as an early bird discount. And that's going to end in about a week. And then at that point, it's the regular price. So feel free to go take a look. You can bring your whole family. It's a lifetime membership. You're going to love it. I know you're going to love it. And again, if you don't love it, you can just let us know. We can give you money back. But it's literally going to be it'll be the best class you've ever taken in your life is 6 weeks. The only way it won't be the best class you've ever taken in your life is if you've taken another class in the Black Business School, because we are the world leading experts on all things related to Black wealth. And we are completely unapologetic, completely built on science and research. And we have solutions nobody else has. We are literally 100 years ahead of our time. People will start to appreciate what's happening now in about the year 2020. I guarantee it. So anyway, guys, I got to go. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.